Hi Neha,
Hi,
can you hear me?
Akshay. Yeah, I can perfectly hear you, but the screen is still loading.
Oh, okay. It takes some time, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, hi. Can
Hey.
see you now.
Hello.
Hey, Akshay, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Neha?
Doing well. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. And this will be the episode one officially of High on Impact.
Okay.
And I can't be more happier to invite a grassroots NGO. And you're representing a wonderful organization, Neev. So
Thank you so much.
So we'll just officially, begin the next 2 minutes. I'll just
Sure.
wait for some more people to join.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. All right, Akshay. We can begin now. Very excited for the podcast. Hi, everyone. This is Neha Chawla, and I bring to you High on Impact, another podcast series by NGO Story, which focuses on impact created by social entrepreneurs, insights from CSR leaders, and impact investors. You guys had been telling us that, we are doing only impact talk shows. While impact talk show is like the DNA of NGO Story, bringing out the untold stories of nonprofits, trying to understand the challenges faced by the social entrepreneurs. But this time, we also felt that it's important to add other stakeholders to the process, right? And also gain the insights and try and understand that, how CSR can help grassroots NGOs, how impact investors can come up with opportunities so that together we are working towards a collaborative approach. I officially start with the episode one. I have Akshaya Chauhan with me. He's the co-founder of Neev Eent Foundation. Neev Ki Eat is working towards advocating and empowering the rights of brick-in workers and their families, and also coming up with a lot of programs, which empowers their children. So Akshay, welcome to High on Impact. It's wonderful to have you as a part of NGO Stories platform. So thank you so much there.
Thank you so much, Neha. It's a pleasure to be here on this platform and to be a part of the first episode. I personally am. I feel so honored, and it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Whenever we get to exchange a few dialogues, I learn a lot from you, and also at the same time get inspired by you.
Likewise, thank you so much. And I will just let you guys know, the viewers, that why we have been away, because I was working on another platform and would love to say, we would love to see you guys towards the end. So stay tuned. I will be talking more about that platform as well. So Akshay, to begin with, what inspired you to build Neev Ki Eat? Was it like you were fresh out of college, or you had some corporate experience and then you felt like, the organic transition into the social sector? So would love to know, we can get started from there.
So yeah, Neha, I started my career with working in a corporate. I'm a CS computer science engineer graduate. So I started back in 2010 with Tata Consultancy Services. I worked with them for good 4 years. It was a wonderful experience. But then things happen, and then you realize that instead of working for let's say working to earn money, you should work towards contributing something to the society, and it enthralls me when I see the impact, right? That is the driving force for me. That is when I decided to quit TCS, and I started ruminating what are the options. Then I found that MBA rural management is one such course which I can choose to switch my career path. Uh, and that's how I entered the development sector. 5 years with working with the government, I realized that there are more dimensions to this sector. Government consulting could be a subset of it, but yeah, then I wanted to learn more, and things happened. Why Brick Labors? Because I was working with the district administration of Palamu as an aspirational district fellow. It's a district located in Jharkhand, right?
Hmm.
The first wave of COVID hit our country, and we all were witness to a number of stories when these migrant laborers, they were trying to get back to their homes. Right. That's when I realized that it's not a temporary phenomenon. It's not restricted only to COVID conditions. It is a situation which they have to live through throughout their lives.
Yeah.
That's when I decided that if given a chance, I will try and work for these labors. And then, I met people, my co-founders, Anshu and Pooja, and then we decided let us collaborate and form something and start doing something. This is how it
Correct.
happened, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, while you were talking about, Bihar, while you were talking about the vulnerabilities of people there, if, I may take up this question because, I'm coming from Jharkhand, right? So I come from Jamshedpur. So my roots are from Jharkhand. And so I do know that, Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, they are considered, to be the so-called backward states. And there is not much of government visibility there in that context. And we, as social entrepreneurs, it is very difficult for us to raise grants. It is very difficult for us to approach the government, being the socio-economic challenges there. So what is your take there, Akshay? I mean, have you tried approaching the government and, seeking collaboration there? And what is the government's perspective there in terms of these initiatives, what you are driving through Neev?
Sure. So I'll add a couple of more states to the tally. There is Odisha, there is Chhattisgarh, right? So these states are in the mainstream considered as the backward or the laggard states, as you rightly said. So to work in these states, you would need collaboration with the government or a government entity at least, right? Because the scenarios in each of the districts of these states is very different. So some of the districts are affected by left-wing extremism. Some districts are affected by extreme poverty, like there is zero outreach, negative outreach, I would say. So
Right.
you need government help, and I'm very keen to, tell this to your audience that government does help. Like there is a general perception that it's very difficult to approach to the government, but specifically for these states, when you try and reach out to the district administration or to the state government, they do respond positively. And we are working with the district administration of Rohtas, which is our operational area as of now. So yes, district administration was so keen to take up this idea, do a pilot with us. They supported us immensely. We have immense support from the district administration.
That's wonderful. So, Akshay, since major chunk of our audience is grassroots NGOs, who are at a nascent stage, and they would love to know that how, they can approach the government for grants or for any kind of collaboration. So, if, from your own journey, you could share that what could be the route so that, smaller NGOs like yours, should be able to reach out to their respective state government and, seek collaboration with them. So what should be the first step, apart from the legal documents which is in place? So is there a proper plan? Are there steps in that context that they need to meet an ex person and then, from there they try to seek collaboration? So if you could just talk about it, would be really valuable for the audience here.
Sure. Having like I'll add to your question that you said that a lot of audience which are a part of this podcast are the organizations in their nascent stage. So are we. Neev Foundation. It has been only 1 year since we got incorporated. Uh, the first step would be to know your beneficiary, who you are, what problem you are trying to solve, and who the problem is concerned with, right? If you have an answer for these two questions, then you start with your research. Specifically talking about government or a district administration or any administration, they will only support you if you have a very strong research, if your problem statement and the vulnerability of your target audience or the beneficiaries is backed by clean data, right? Or some robust researches which are already in place and is accepted by the mainstream. So these are the first three steps which I think any organization should do, be it if you are seeking government help or if you are trying to reach out to any donor or a funding agency. So these are the first three steps, and these are the answers that any donor or a government would look for.
Correct. Absolutely. This is
Yeah.
very valuable, Akshay. And so, what could be the possible challenges, what you have faced as an organization in the sector? This could be in the context of dealing with donors. This could be in the context of CSR funding, or maybe with the government as well. So, what have been the challenges, what you have faced in the sector? So, as you said that, you are a young NGO, right? You are a grassroots organization. It has been just a year. So, what has been the challenges, what you have faced, and how you have overcome those challenges?
So the first challenge is a no-brainer for any organization, be it not-for-profit or a for-profit organization. So you have to start from scratch, and also you have to, most of the times you have to bootstrap. So funding is a challenge. So
Correct.
like any or other organization, we also started bootstrapping from our own pockets, and then tried to collect proof of concept. uh, so this is the major challenge which any organization I think would face. So try and reduce your costs or expenses as much as you can, right? Get to that critical figure or a critical mark, which you can, with a 99% of degree of confidence, you can say that this is my proof of concept, this is extrapolatable, and I can take it to any agency and present it to them, and they will get convinced, right? So those
Hmm.
metrics should be very clear to you. Yeah, that I want to achieve this level. So you should keep benchmarks in your strategy. So if I achieve this benchmark, I will go to this agency. If I achieve this benchmark, I will go to that agency. Right.
Hmm.
So yeah. So whichever agency for funding you are targeting, you should keep a benchmark. Then
Correct.
the third challenge, which is also akin to the funding challenge, is finding the right human resource with right set of skills. In the beginning, it's very difficult to find the skills and human resource and the competencies in one room.
Hmm.
And get them, convince them to work on a cause that might not fetch profit, because for most of the working professionals, the monetary gains is the driving force. So this is a
Correct.
little bit tricky in our sector, in the development sector or the
Very
not for
true.
profit sector, to say. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I may like to add couple of pointers there that apart from these things, so of course, at the nascent stage, the 12A ATG, the organization is still running around to secure the legal documents. So, that is another thing what the organization struggles at. And as you rightly said that, finding the right set of people is very difficult in our sector because unfortunately, development sector doesn't pay you that much, right? It is still coming up,
Yeah.
but especially for the bigger organizations who are running as corporates now. But slowly, gradually, maybe we will be able to get there. But as a grassroots NGO, one can also seek help from incubators,
Correct.
right? There are various incubators from which one can raise grants and one can be a part of, so that through them you will also seek mentorship. Maybe you will be able to add more team members as well, people who are passionate about the cause. And there are so many things, what you will be able to learn from the cohort. So if I talk about my own WSP journey, there were so many sources of information, or let's say mentorship in different aspects, what we had benefited at NGO Story. So, you can seek help from those agencies as well till the time you become sustainable or let's say eligible for the CSR funding. Yeah, Akshay, so you may like to add something there?
So, not to add anything, I mean, you are so on point there. Just wanted to ask you, since yours is also a 5-year-old organization, you have been working for a while now, and it's an organization which is led by a woman, right? So want to hear from you for the women entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs who want to enter this sector, what kind of challenges they can face, or what kind of help they can receive if it's a woman-led organization. Yeah.
Right. Right. So on the gender front, I won't say that there have been any biases in the sense that, I as a woman have received more opportunities. I would rather say that, I have been fortunate to be a part of certain accelerators, which has helped me, grow the organization. So NGO story, again, being a social startup, Akshay, you will always struggle. Right. So it cannot be that, you can reach that level that the organization has become really sustainable. Last week when we were chatting about my initiatives, I was telling you about Project Shiksha, about chasing CSRs for it still till date, and then NGO story also as a platform, still trying to continue with the podcast, trying to continue with the organization. And thirdly, I have recently joined Eka Impact as a part of their core team, which is a fundraising platform. So there another role is there, right? So as a woman, I would rather say, opportunities from a gender perspective hasn't been more or less there. It is all about your passion as an individual. You can be a male founder, you can be a female founder. It is all about the fervor, what you have kept in the sector. So what my learning personally has been is do not give up. Right, I
Absolutely.
have never given up in the sector, right? I mean, I have always kept faith here, and there were so many CSRs, who were not even ready to speak to us, right? They were
Correct.
like, come on, yeah, I mean, you're a young social startup. What you have accomplished? You do impact talk shows. What this really creates? What is the outcome? How many beneficiaries you have impacted? Right. So that
Yeah.
is what, they talk about numbers, right? They talk about traction, they talk about numbers. I vividly remember last year when we did the Impact Awards. So this was attended by about 400 people offline in Bangalore,
Okay.
and sign-ups went more than 1,000 plus. So it was like, when I was convincing CSRs, they were telling me, Neha, it is only about felicitation, it is only about giving awards. So what are you really achieving here? So I mean, appreciation is so important for the grassroots NGOs. This is what we as a platform recognized, right? But this may not be a tangible outcome for the CSR. So I would not say that I didn't had my own share of challenges. I always
Yeah.
had my own share of challenges there, but I'm fortunate to be a part of the WSP program at the NSR cell IMB, wherein there were mentors who guided us, who mentored us, who told us that, okay, these could be the probable collaborators. And one last key takeaway was that collaboration is the key. A lot of us non-profits, we try to reinvent the wheel. अगर आप एजुकेशन सेक्टर में हो और आप कोई सर्टेन टाइप के काउंसलिंग प्रोग्राम के लिए काम कर यू आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स अ काउंसलिंग प्रोग्राम, लेट्स से फॉर द आफ्टर स्कूल प्रोग्राम काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग, अ ब्रिज प्रोग्राम फॉर द सीनियर किड्स, फॉर द adolescent category, as to say. There are many NGOs like that. So why don't you collaborate with the other NGOs, right? And then learn from them rather than reinventing the wheel. So I have seen that our sector, we are not that much open to collaboration, राइट, विच इज मच नीडेड. जितना हम लोगों से बात करेंगे हमारे सेक्टर से, जितना हम फोरम्स और इवेंट्स में जाएंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव पर्सनली डन. I used to spend hours and hours on LinkedIn, right? And I'm coming from an HR and marketing background. I had no clue about the development sector. So I remember that how organically, the shift happened, and there was so much of hard work, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also resonate there, right? I mean, as a grassroots NGO, we have to face so many challenges. People put question marks, and yeah, there are so many things. I have had my fair share of challenges, and I hope that through this podcast, through NGO Story as a platform, we should be able to encourage more powerful conversations with the other stakeholders as well. Yeah.
Which is true, and
This-
the problem of collaboration in our sector, you are so spot on there. I think it's a spillover from the for-profit sector. We are more used to that sector because we can observe and experience the space, the for-profit space. And
Correct.
it's a spillover from the because competition is an essential element of the for-profit space.
True.
On the contrary, in the not-for-profit space, like you said, collaboration is the key to grow. I was so surprised when I came out of the college. We kept hearing from profs that whenever you get a chance to build an organization, try and collaborate, try and collaborate. But when I came out, when I entered the sector, I saw that a sense of competition even amongst the not-for-profit organizations. Not all, I'm not trying to generalize it, but yeah, I could see that. And people end up working in silos. So, like you said, if somebody is working on education, they would be very much focused to their program only. However, development sector is all about, sharing your knowledge and experience with everyone else so that the society in the end can derive benefits from your actions, right? So that is so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think, maybe everyone is fighting for the same pool of funds, right? And hence they look at
Could be.
each other as competitors because सबको पता है कि हम जो अपना विजन लेके चल रहे हैं, तो हमें CSR को कहीं ना कहीं प्रेजेंट करना है, right? So if we share the perspective or the insights with the other NGOs, so maybe, we might miss out on our chances of fundraising.
Which is
But
true.
let's look at the other way around here. I mean, there could be attributes, there could be perspective missing elements in the program. Let's say in your program जो आप दूसरे NGO से सीखते हो and together आप लोग काम कर रहे हो वहां पे, तो your pace of achieving fundraising or securing something, becomes faster. तो वो पर्सपेक्टिव यहाँ पे सबका लैक करता है. एंड एज यू राइटली सेड, जैसे हम फॉर प्रॉफिट सेक्टर में होता है कि कंपटीशन कितना ज्यादा है, देयर इज सो मच ऑफ कंपेटिटिव स्पिरिट. सो व्हाई द कंपेटिटिव डीएनए इन द डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर? सो आई थिंक वी रियली नीड टू हैव more impactful conversations there, more dialogue, more understanding, and seeing each other's role. So, Akshay, talking about impact, when you spoke about impact, right? So,
Yeah,
आपको पता है कि CSRs or let's say impact investors, they are very much onto the number wala thing.
which is
They are like, okay, so how many lives you have impacted? Okay, this should be the impact report. This is how the impact assessment is supposed to be done. So impact can be very difficult. I mean, measuring impact can be very difficult. So one of my friends who works into anti-human trafficking, so in one of the seminars, someone asked her that there is such a small number of survivors, what she has rescued. So she is like, you really want the number to be high there? That, you really want the number of rescued girls to be high
true.
there? I mean, what
Yeah.
is this perspective, to kind of look at the impact number? So we talk about, impacting lives, we talk about impact number, but we have to be cognizant that measuring impact can be complex, and it is, I mean, it varies from one thematic area to another. So you as an organization at Neev Eat, so how do you guys are measuring impact? Are there certain impact metrics? Are there certain evaluators? So that once, you are presenting your reports to your donors, to your CSR, to your impact investors, you are hands on with that. So what is your strategy there? Would like to know that.
So, I'll be very honest with you. When we started, and also it's my learning from the sector, whatever experience I have, that to measure or to envisage the impact is a would be an incorrect strategy to have in place. Not to measure it, you can measure it at a later stage, but like you can put down your outputs and your outcomes in your logical framework or any strategy table that or project planning table which you refer to. But impact is something which comes out of itself. It's a story, right? So, I mean, yeah, at a later stage, you can measure. There are various tools to measure impact. And here I would like to mention the name of NSR Cell, which is an incubation cell of IIM Bangalore. You know about it. Just want to disseminate the information. To measure the impact which Neev Foundation is creating, NSR Cell helped us a lot with that. Special
We are
thanks to
branding
our.
them, Akshay. We are branding them. We should be getting some grant from the NSR cell.
Let's hope so. I mean, hope is the pillar on which the world stands. Yes, but no,
Yeah.
no. On a serious note, our mentor, the anchor mentor, Archana ma'am, she helped us to write the impact matrix, and sometimes you can write down all the things that you want to measure, but in the end it won't, things will turn out very differently because in our development sector 2 plus 2 is not always 4, right? It can be A, it can be B, it can be 100.
Correct.
Yeah, because it's a dynamic environment where we live in. So we try and bring out stories through focused interviews, group discussions. We observe a lot, I will share an anecdote with you. So when we began working with the Brickin laborers, nobody cared about education of their children, right?
Right.
Uh, we are doing a survey, family survey right now with the help of some interns, and now we have found that whenever these laborers, when they go back to their respective homes, so they try and engage their children with a tutor, a private tutor, at nominal rates, whatever they can afford, right? So continuity in the education of these children was a big challenge for us, which we were trying to solve. It was like a problem statement for us, right? But through the impact which we have made, although it was not envisaged in the beginning, it was not there in the project planning, but it has come out of itself. The people are reacting for themselves. They can see the benefit. This is what I call the power of trickle down effect. मेरा बच्चा
True.
पढ़ रहा है, उसका बच्चा पढ़ रहा है, तो मेरा बच्चा भी पढ़ेगा,
Correct.
है ना? उसके घर में एलईडी टीवी है, तो मेरे घर में भी होना चाहिए. दिस इज हाउ वी रिएक्ट एज ह्यूमन बींग्स.
Right. No,
या.
very true, absolutely. So, building on that question, Akshay, like when you spoke about the brick-in workers, it must be very difficult to seek their participation in your programs initially, right? Wherein you're trying to build the trust, the engagement, because they are like your story is different from their story, right? So how will you have those shared experiences so that they resonate that this is the vision of your organization and you've actually come to help them? So what were the challenges initially, and what kind of programs you had introduced during your initial months? Would love to know that.
Sure. So, I think, Neha, the first step to, build the bond or that trust relationship with laborers, or for that matter, any human being, is to, establish a bond with somebody who or something that is very close to their heart. In
Correct.
our case, it's their children, right? So we train our fellows, we onboard our fellows and train them to establish a bond with their children. Yeah.
Right.
And we have some indicators in place. So, like whenever these fellows, they are addressed by the laborers as sir or ma'am. Yeah. When they start getting calls from the parents of these children who are the labor themselves,
Hmm.
for a cup of tea, or
Hmm.
a chai biscuit kind of snack, that is when we realize ki we have been successful in establishing that bond, and now it's the time to enhance the scope of intervention from the children to their families. This is how we are doing it right now, but every intervention will have its own way,
Hmm.
right? So I don't have a framework to put in, and so that to guide anyone and go about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I said, you start targeting that thing or that person or that idea which is very close to the heart of
Close.
someone you are working for. Yes.
Correct, absolutely. So, that also reminds me of, couple of those nonprofit founders who are, having a similar approach in which they are attracting the children, not necessarily through the route of education. For example, You Are Trust. I got the opportunity of building one of our digital Shiksha labs there. And the founders, they are from Germany. And imagine they have left their country, Akshay, and they are staying in the state of Jharkhand. In
Oh wow.
Ranchi, they are residing. They have taken up this small place in which there are 100 wonderful girls. And it is so difficult for them to convince their families, जहाँ से ये nearby villages से आते हैं. So what they do is that their approach is saying that we want your children to play. ठीक है, स्पोर्ट्स के थ्रू अट्रैक्ट करते हैं, फिर उसके बाद दे मेक academics as a part of their life, right? So as you rightly said, there is no format, right? So you really have to figure it out that what is close to the heart of the beneficiary, right?
which is
Or to the so-called decision makers who have to
which is
send their
why
children.
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, totally aligned. And which is why it's very important, to understand the problem A and the beneficiary you are working for.
Correct.
So, if I want to draw an analogy from the for-profit sector,
Hmm.
they always do these banks, right? They always every year they want to do your KYC. What is KYC? Know your customer.
Hmm.
So they are trying to learn more about you, your habits, your spending habits, your saving habits. and that's where they derive ideas or generate hypotheses from and work towards it.
Correct.
Similarly, we can also, in the not-for-profit space also, it's not very different from that. The approach could be the same. Having said that, it might differ slightly from, one sector to the others. If somebody is working in the education space, the drivers could be different. For an organization like NGO Stories, the driver would be entirely different from a Neev Foundation.
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So different goals for different organizations, but one really needs to sit and understand the beneficiaries first, what we are trying to achieve, the goal, the vision of the organization, and then there are accelerators, there are incubators for which the grassroots NGOs can, apply for. They can seek mentorship, they can seek support, and most importantly, do not forget to collaborate with others, right? So, this is what we keep saying at NGO Story, that guys, it is very, very important to seek help from each other from the sector, because our sector is very small. And if I talk about the grassroots NGOs, we are very much there at the bottom of the pyramid with minimal visibility, right? So if we are standing up for each other and if we are collaborating in programs, wherein we feel we can seek energy, so definitely, we can come up there as organizations. Yeah. So Akshay, I would like to move towards another fun part. So, these were all very valuable conversations, but, would like to
Sure.
add a fun element there. We'll do a small rapid fire with you. Yeah.
Why not?
So quick
Yeah,
questions, and you have to quickly, give us the answer. So the thinking span should not be beyond 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah.
let's do it.
So I'll shoot the question first. Okay. So if you were given the chance of going on a dinner with a celebrity, Akshay,
Okay.
who that celebrity would be and why?
Uh, okay. So I would like to go out with. By the way, it's not possible, but I would have loved to go out with Mr. Rambriksh Benipuri ji. He's a celebrated author in Hindi and a thinker and a philosopher from yesteryears. And also, we derive the name of our organization from one of his essays by the same name, Neev Ki Eat. So it has inspired me a lot. Yeah.
It's wonderful. All right, I'll move to the next one. If you could instantly master any skill, what that skill would be and why?
Gen AI. Yes. It's a
Why?
no-brainer, right? Artificial intelligence, I mean, if I club it with, and I already have a technical background. I'm a computer science graduate, right? So
Right.
I'm more than acquainted with the tools and systems. If I have an additional knowledge of artificial intelligence, it can not only help my organization, which is, I think we have a lot to contribute to the sector.
Correct.
There's a huge
I'm also
gap in terms of technology in our sector, which I realize now.
very true. We were also doing couple of tech-based podcast series earlier, and I would love to take this up there. But continuing, with the rapid fire. Okay,
Sure.
so what's your favorite childhood memory, Akshay?
Favorite childhood memory would be it came at a much later age. I was traveling back to my college from my home. I saw a beggar. She was yearning for something. I thought it should be money, but when I reached out to her, she said कि I have money. बेटा मेरे पास पैसा है. You just take this money and get some food for me. I will never forget this. So there are people out there who, there is no dearth of money or resources, but still they lack what they need. They don't have access to those things. So I will never forget this.
Very true. All right. Morning or night?
Night,
Beach or mountains?
both.
Both. Okay. You cannot say both.
Uh, I can actually because I am in Mumbai right now, and Western Ghats, these districts in Maharashtra are famous for the collaboration of terrain and ocean, right? So
Okay, you brought the element of collaboration. They're all right. Coffee or tea?
tea, always tea.
Okay, now the last one. What's your go-to karaoke song? Your go-to karaoke song, which is coming to your mind always, so.
So this song, it's a recent release, I think. कल रात मेरे घर आया एक चोर. I mean, such simple lyrics and so such simple music, and still an impactful, meaningful song.
You
It
need
has
to
a
sing
really
it a bit. You need to sing it a
uh,
bit.
I mean, if you want to scare away your audience, then why not?
No, that's okay. You can just sing maybe a
So
line. That's fine.
yeah, it goes like Kal raat आया मेरे घर एक चोर आके. It goes like this, and in the end, the protagonist says ki you take away everything from me. So a lot to interpret there.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for being a sport there. And so, I mean, I cannot be more glad, Akshay, having you for the episode one. I have a couple of CSRs, impact investors also lined up. But, at NGO Story, you always believe in, bringing out the untold stories of NGO founders. And I'm honored to have you as a part of, the episode one. And, just to share a little bit with my audience that I have been building on another platform called as Eka Impact. So Eka Impact believes in unrestricted funding support for grassroots NGOs. So guys, I had been working on this, from the past 6 to 8 months, and I am so glad that we have been able to launch it now. In fact, Akshay's foundation bears testimony to that fact that, how we have been helping grassroots NGOs. So Akshay, would you like to add something about this?
Why not? I mean, Eka Impact, like there are so many fundraising platforms out there, right? But especially for grassroots organization and organization which is working in Malda or in Palamu or in Rohtas, so the main challenge which they face while raising funds through these platforms would be either they would lack skills, to create a fundraiser campaign and take it to a number of people and then try and raise funds. But Eka Impact, on the contrary, is very different. So it's so suitable for organizations like Neev Foundation because we are a top-heavy organization. So organization, all three co-founder with other core members, we all work together and we are always busy, right? So we don't have enough time to create fundraisers and work on the communication line or on a deck, not always. But what Eka Impact brings to the table is they provide that extension arm or the extended help where Eka Impact comes to the organization, gives you a platform, gives you the access, and if you have it in you, right, if you can prove yourself, then you have the access to the network and also of course to the funds. So this is a great thing for which Eka Impact is doing for grassroots.
Thank you so much, Akshay. And like guys, I had been working on NGO stories since a very long time. So I do know what are the challenges of grassroots NGOs and really wanted to build a platform जिसमें filters नहीं होते हैं. So for example, जब आप CSR funding के लिए जाते हो, 3 years you should be into the space,
Correct.
right? ITR, आपका financial सब कुछ आपका होना चाहिए so that before you become eligible for the funding you need to have certain documents in place, right? You need to have the form CSR1, and there are other attributes to it. But at Eka Impact क्या होता है that हम grassroots NGOs को irrespective of आप जितने भी time आप you have been working into the sector, it could be 1 year, it could be 1.5 years, it could be 2 years, with whatever fundraising goals you have, we really encourage you guys to be a part of the ecosystem. We support you in capacity building. You may or may not be having good presentations, right? हम लोग आपको presentations में help करते हैं. We help you work on your pitch proposal. And how we raise funds is we have our own community of impact investors. We have a community of philanthropists. So I would really encourage you to be a part of platform like that. If you're doing, some good work, of course, each and every NGO is doing wonderful work, right? I mean, I cannot really say that good work or
It
not
is true.
because we guys who have chosen to be in this sector, right, each and every one of us, we are doing wonderful work irrespective हम कोई भी stage पे हो, 6 months हुआ है, 1 year हुआ है, whichever stage we are. So Eka Impact really encourages the grassroots NGOs who are at the bottom of the pyramid, and we help you guys. So I will be sharing the link also wherein you guys can be a part of the ecosystem, and would love to see more and more NGOs collaborate there. So Akshay, thank you so much. Any thoughts what you would like to share towards the end about Neev Ki Eent, that these are the upcoming programs, and any volunteering support you are seeking or any collaboration, any area. So whichever part you would like to share with the audience.
Yeah. So we are about to end the season two of our implementation of Project Swabhiman. And it has been a success so far. Next year, we are trying to add a few elements more for our fellows, right? We are also working on their job readiness. So we do a very unique fellowship program. So our fellows, they come essentially from the same socio-economic background, right? Either they come from the rural space, or the demography which they come from resonates with our beneficiary, right? To support them, we are seeking collaborations where we can help them with their skill enhancement, or their placement, or meeting their career aspirations. So this is what we are working on right now, and hopefully in season three, along with the success stories of the laborers and children, we will also have a few stories about our fellows to tell.
Correct, absolutely. And I'm wishing you guys all the best. I'm sure that with your hard work, and you have a wonderful team, Akshay. When I got
Thank
the
you
opportunity of
so
working
much.
with you guys, I personally, I can vouch for your work, and you guys are doing such a great
Thank
job, and wishing you all
you.
the best there. And there are many volunteer social sector consultants following our page. So if you guys are listening to this, or maybe later on, you may like to apply for positions there in Neev, and be a part of their team and help them out in whichever way you can. So, guys, I will be back again with the episode two, bringing more impactful conversations, another leader from the social sector, and trying to make a little difference in the development sector. So, thank you so much, Akshay, and looking forward to meeting you soon.
Thank you so much, Neha. NGO Stories, along with Eka Impact, it's like a wonderful concoction. From communication to fundraising, everything it can bring on the table for, especially for organizations like ours. So, from on behalf of the whole sector, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akshay. Take care of yourself. Wonderful
You too.
meeting you. See ya.
Same
Bye.
here. Bye. Bye.